Hello everyone and welcome to So Many Games in a Little Time. My name is Joachim as usual, and today we'll be doing another Kickstarter Gamefound crowdsourcing update, and you know how it goes. I will show you everything that I thought looks interesting, and I'll tell you a little bit about it, and then it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to find out more about it, of course. Okay, so let's just dive right in. The first one we have here is Mini Meeple Melee, Big Battles, Tiny Tin. So there's a number of games today that are small and easily portable. Now I'm going to say up front, these games are actually not my cup of tea, but you know, maybe some of you it is. So you have Big Battles, Tiny Tin. So it's a tin game. And it says here, grab your friends, take control of one of the 6 different heroes and battle it out in the arena. There's different terrains, it's modular, unique skills, abilities, battle techniques, and so on. And because it's so small, you can play everywhere. So you can see it here. These are the different locations as well, because you can see the bottom is not part of the tin, it's just a card, right? So you can see different characters with different abilities and so on. You also have 3 different game modes, which is free for all, team melee, and a boss battler. Okay, this is everything that's in there. You see different, once again, the actions, the abilities, a boss called the Baron, and all the other stuff. All right, so if this is interesting to you, there's also even a standalone expansion to it, Fire and Ice, with even more stuff. So if this tickles your fancy, then do check. At the moment there's only 4 of these, but you can always ask for other places where it might ship. All right, okay, so that is Mini Meeple Melee. Next one is Ancedale's Hope, a solo print and play game. This is the only print and play, I think, today. It is slightly more expensive than the others though. It's like €3, I think it is. So basically you're Will Smith, maybe I shouldn't say that, in I Am Legend almost, because you are in the city and you're basically alone. You're scavenging items to do research, to find the cure that you need, and to basically save yourself, I believe. Yeah, and there's a timer, of course, so if you don't manage not to do it, if you manage not to do it before the end, then too bad. It says here, lacking survival mechanics and science fiction universe, survive during expeditions on an island city and return to your HQ to produce the cure to fight a dangerous virus. Survive expeditions across a hostile island city, return to your HQ to make the cure, because there's a bunch of watchtowers that are on there that you will roll for to see their strength and everything. Anyway, that's really quickly going over it. So if this interests you, do check it out. That's Ancedale. Alright, then we have My Bloody Valentine, the game. First of all, I had no idea this was a 1981 horror movie. I was born in 82, and even then horror movies are not my jam, so I wouldn't know. But if you know this movie and you say it's freaking brilliant, then maybe this is for you, because this game is based on that horror movie. Now this is the board, which I think doesn't really appeal to me at all, but other people, once again, if you like the movie, maybe you will like this as well, you know, so you can just play it again where you're trying to stop the killer, and it has all these people from the movie and cards and scenes and so on. So yeah, if this is really something that interests you, go check it out. And you can see there's already a bunch of people who went for it. It has already doubled its pledge, so it's definitely popular. Even has like dice shakers and everything added there. Mini replica heart shaped candy box. So yeah, you know, this is your thing, check it out. Shipping wise, doesn't seem to be shipping to the US, they don't really give any details, it seems like. Not that I can see. If I click here, it does go to everywhere, but it doesn't give a number. Next up is Martial Art Battlefields. When I checked this out, I was like, meh. I mean, everybody knows the art. It does have the seal of approval of the Dice Tower, so that was a little bit like, I watched the videos, which are really short, how to play, and it's actually quite cool because it's not just a 2-player game. You can play with 3 and 4 as well, and you're just trying to get these masks and these bridges, these locations. That's what you're fighting for, and on your turn you just play 1 card, but they all have different abilities. And if you manage to have the highest value at the end of that turn, you only play 1, but you can add some cards to it though. But once that's all done, you get to choose one of the locations, or what is it, bridges or masks that are there. Like for 3 players there'll be 2, for 4 players there'll be 3, always 1 less than the amount of players. So you'll be able to choose what you want, and if you have X amounts of masks and bridges, you win. So, and this is with an expansion on top of that to add even more. And once again, very small footprint because it's just cards. That's it. So the art, I like that as well. Really cool. And then, is there anything else here about shipping information? We're working UK, EU, and Australia friendly shipping. No news about Asia, but this is a box. Even the box is cool, you know. Yeah. Let me see what it would be like farther away. Does it have any? It doesn't have any shipping numbers either. Shipping amounts. Still very interested about this one. Next one is Critter Cards. Now this is for children aged 3 to 9. So if you don't have any children, or you don't encounter children or whatever, this might not be for you. But basically this is to help them do math, simple math, basically, as you can see, simple math. So they'll be playing cards, and then it will be adding both values. So 5 plus 6 is 11, so then they know it's 11 against 10, so 11 wins. Right, but then you can make it a little, because wisdom is wits and focus together, right? But then you can make it a little bit more interesting because you also have spell cards that you can add, and then you have special characters that can be added as they, improve in the game and they get better at it and so on. So yeah, if this is something that you think is interesting, check it out. Even though I have 3 daughters, this doesn't really appeal to me. There's something else that's on the way that we'll talk about later that appeals more to me, but it looks pretty as well, so if it's something that you think it's cool, then yeah, check it out. So shipping here is, as you can see, also once again no Asia. There's less and less Asia these days, sadly, so for me this is also really expensive every time. So next one, we have the Prometheus modular gaming table. Just here to tell you, it's a gaming table. If you need one, go and check it out. It is made from advanced materials used to manufacture private jets and super yachts. I don't know how that's necessary for a gaming table, but if it helps them sell tables or make it more sturdy, then why not? Okay, so just check it out if you're in the market for a table. I'm not gonna go all this different stuff, but you can do it outdoors as well. Use it outdoors as well. There's lots of stuff here. I'm actually just looking for any kind of shipping numbers. Here we go. Shipping. I don't see any amounts here. No. If I click here, select the country, only the states. There you go. States only. Then we have Gamestormers, the perfect card game for game designers. So in this game, you're basically creating a game, and you're all doing it separately. Of course, you're trying to make the best game possible. So this is a good game for storytellers, basically, because you can see here storyline, mechanic, character, items, and so on. You'll be putting that's the basic part of the game. You're creating your tableau, and then you have to do a pitch later on. But then in the game, there's mini pitches. There's like little arena battles that you can do to make it all more interesting. And you can see the art, pretty nice. Yeah, so if you like storytelling and so on, then this is definitely something that you should take a look at. And just the idea that you're creating your own game. You can see it here, this is a scoring. So you have victory points for the cards, of course, and the mechanics. Most of types, most of all types, arena victories, and then the winner who had the best game as well. Stuff like that. So yeah, there's a bunch of videos on here that you can check out. Let me check the shipping. Boom, 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 boom. La, la, la. Here, USA, Canada, EU, and Asia. Once again, sadly, Asia is within the more expensive area. But yeah, too bad for me and maybe good for you. Alright, so that's done. Then we have Clash at Rook's Point. Choose your faction, plan your moves, and win control in this 2-player card game. Every month there's a bunch of 2-player card games. Like, I mean, it says 2 to 4 though, so I guess more people can play. Even though that might mean you need 2 decks, I don't know. But basically, this is supposed to be only 5 to 15 minutes, so it should play very fast. And I think what is special is there's no rare card chasing or deck building because everybody has the exact same deck that you play from. Okay, it just depends on how you use it and when you use it that changes it. But you can see it's small, fits in your pocket, so easy to take it to bring around. So you choose your faction, perform 2 actions, discard a card, to draw 1, perform an action that's printed on the card, or attack a character, things like that. End of turn. And then you keep going until everything is finished. Okay, so someone has KO'd 3 of 1 player's characters. Okay, so you have some examples. So that's it, basically a portable card game. Seems pretty interesting. It says worldwide shipping, here we go. But once again, Asia is not mentioned, so you can already assume this is going to be very pricey if you live in Asia. Okay, so let's see, Rook's Point level, select a country, Hong Kong and China aren't even in there. So there you go. I don't even have to worry about getting this or not. Alright, then we have this one, which is Loot Brutes. I think this is also not only in the States. Let me just quickly check. Yeah, only in the States. Basically, this is a card game where you're trying to get as much loot as possible. You have the deck in the middle. You start playing cards because you start with a certain amount of cards. You start playing them, you're trying to get loot or affect other people's hand or cards that they already have. And you keep playing until the deck runs out. And then everybody counts up their score, their loot, and then see who wins, right? You have to rely on your memory and acute powers of observation to get ahead, because you might know, okay, that person has a high loot card, I want that card, I need to remember it, okay, I have this card, now I can get it, and then so on. Alright, so yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, it's pretty much straightforward. Maglev Metro, Mechs, Monorails and more. So you might have heard of Maglev Metro before because the first game was a big hit, because it has, but now it has 6 incredible new expansion maps. So Mechs, Monorails, Moonbases, Mars, London and Paris. So basically you're creating these metro lines all over the place. And yeah, now it's just expanded with all these different maps, and they're all recessed as well, so they're going to be really looking nice. As you can see, visually the game is already top notch, and the tiles that you put are also to make the connections, they're also see-through, so that helps as well. And once again, every map adds more mechanics and livens up the game, because the original game had 2 maps. And now there's a bunch more of these monorails, right? So I'm not going to go over what every map does. If you're interested in something like this, basically it's pick up delivery, but also a lot of strategy and connecting lines and so on. So yeah. All right, so that is Maglev Metro. Yeah, so the Kickstarter page itself is not going to say too much about the original game. You have to go to Board Game Geek for that. Here is the shipping. And China, Hong Kong, for once, gets a decent rate. So, you know, this one I'm definitely interested in. Then we continue to Fujiyama with Ajisai, board game made in Japan. Create colorful hydrangeas and mountains decorated with wooden animal tokens. How do you pronounce this even? Hydrangeas. Hydrangeas? Sure. With wooden animal tokens, 2 easy to play strategic Japanese style board games. I am not interested in this, but because of the art style and everything, not really the type of game, but it looks tremendously cute. So 2 heartwarming yet strategic Japanese board games, as you can see. 2 to 5 players, only 20 minutes. So, you know, in this case, this is what's in Fujiyama. Okay, so you'll be playing these animal tokens and then scoring combinations and everything depending on what it says on your score sheets. You can also see what those seasons tiles add to it and so on. And then we also have the Ajisai, which is about the flowers, and it looks like it's a little bit of an Othello style game, because every time they're adding flowers, other flowers flip and create different colors. So you're constantly affecting other players' flowers, as you can see here, you know. And it's constantly changing color, as I said. So it looks cool, it looks nice, but I know myself, and so it's not my style. But if it's yours, definitely check it out, because it does look really, really cute and so on. You can see here all the colors constantly flipping. Alright, so let's take a look at the shipping for this. No shipping. No shipping. Seems like I said here, shipping, yeah. So shipping one game was close to 2030 from Japan. Well, let's just click at what it says here. Maybe it has a number. Okay, it has a value next to the country. So Hong Kong is slightly cheaper in this case. Okay, so you again have an idea of how much your shipping will be there. Okay, then we have, this is weird. Maybe someone can explain this to me, but this is Scamperland TCG, trading card game. The trading card game where collecting is unleashed. So it has 105 backers. It has this amount of money. And I was like curious, right? Because it's gone pretty well. It wanted $15,000. It's $38,000 already. Only a little bit of comments. One update. The update just says thanks. You know, that's it. Very, very bare bones. I'll show that to you right now. It just says, yay, welcome to Scamperland. That's it. But what is special to me about this campaign is just like, oh, it's going to bring you to a place where collecting is unleashed. Cool. And it says what it's about, you know, a self-actualizing race of leveling up to transcend your beastly existence. So I guess you want to level up, right? And it says here, field of play. Okay, cool. Types of cards. Cool. Talks about the cards, what's on the cards, 100 card base set, some exclusive stuff, other stuff, party time premium stuff, jewel stone, all this kind of stuff. And then the packs they're offering, and the foil card, and it says read this on YouTube. And then some add-ons and so on. But the only thing that there's nowhere here is how do you play it? It just says here, follow us along as we grow. Learning to play takes just 5 minutes. And then it does have, okay, I have the rulebook here, but you have to go that far to find out how to play. That's a little bit strange to me, but whatever. Okay, so also no mentioning of shipping or whatever. But maybe it's just USA only. That could be. Alright, Canada, Germany, the UK, and the States. That's it. And then look at the prices. Germany and the UK is $75. Okay, you know, it could be really good. I don't know. Let's take a look at the rulebook real quick and see what it says. So when you see this here, it's actually the website, and then you go through the rulebook, and the rulebook is says coming soon. Okay, that's Scamperland. Alright, then we have Barnyard, a bifold game, which is a 2-player game about corralling animals on a farm. Includes free expansion, only $10. Basically, it's another one of these small pocket-sized games that you can draw. This one I think is actually cute, because you're going to be having a farm, right? You're going to flip one of these cards, and then you have to put it somewhere in the line and do whatever it says, and then you're going to take the top animal and add it to your own farm, which will then also have an influence for endgame scoring, where you put it and so on. So it's pretty simple, but it's cute. I like what it looks like. You also have these farmers who then add extra stuff to it, which also makes it interesting. And it is a print and play potentially as well, so I'm, you know, maybe I'll just go for this. even has a playmat. I might be pushing it a little bit because then it gets really expensive. But yeah, because rest of world, I don't know. This for some reason this appeals to me. I like the style. Anyway, let's continue. We have Legacy of Thracks, The Awakening, which basically is a unique mix of Ameri adventure game and Euro resource management. I like how it says Ameri and not Ameri trash. But solo with David Tucci, which is always good, of course. At least he has the reputation for that. This game, there's a ton to do. Okay, it says epic asymmetric competitive fantasy strategy board game for 1 to 4 players with unique semi-co-op elements and an exciting mix of Ameri and Euro mechanics and feeling. The co-op elements is because there's one player and he's here on the left and he is the shadow player, right? Who's trying to end the world basically, and then the other people are all humans. So there's a warrior, there's an engineer, there's a mage, there's a shadow leader, and those 4 they'll be going around doing loads of stuff and also sometimes working together to stop the shadow player. But of course the shadow player will try to stop them as well. So what are some of the stuff that they can do? Well, first of all, you have the game modes, basic mode, solo, co-op, clan mode, which has some extra stuff there, shadow mode, difficulty levels as well, and 3 game lengths, and also a 60-page immersive story, just to, because this person has been working on this game, if I'm not mistaken, for 7 years. 7. So it's really fleshed out. So anyway, what is it? Yeah, here's all the stuff that you can do. You overcome magical barriers, you collect valuable crystals and relics, you complete secret quests, you increase glory by defeating other heroes in battle or capturing tactical fortresses, you conquer castles to increase income, you develop unique abilities, you activate special action cards, you capture villages and build roads. And then there's another player who's a shadow hero. He can use the skills to these 3 to copy other people's skills, the heroes, the abilities. And they can use black magic abilities and activate the source of darkness to hinder the other heroes, and also increase your own power to use darkness power. So there's a lot of stuff there. The minis, they look pretty good as well. Actually quite nice. The heroes play completely differently because they have different powers. It looks nice. You know, it seems like this game is really well done. I was looking for even the storybook here. There's a lot of stuff that you can read about. Okay, and there's even more that I'm not going to go over. We're just going to skip to the shipping. Because if this already sounds really good to you, just go and check it out. Okay. So here's how it was made. 6 years of development. I'm sorry, 6 years. Maybe 7 by the time it delivers with the shipping delays these days. I have pledged, as you can see, but that is for now. So shipping here. There we go. So in this case, I'm one of the lucky ones, I guess, because zone 1, I'm pretty sure, will be Hong Kong and China. Yeah, there you go. Alright. Then we have Aldarra. It's a fast-paced 4x combat-focused strategy game with 152 huge minis and buckets of dice and an expansive world. Now, this is the relaunch, basically. And I'm already going to say I'm not interested in this. And it's for a very stupid reason. Because of, I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the tiles, and I don't like that it gets so busy when I watch playthroughs, and I'm not a fan of airships. So this game can be completely awesome, but my eyes, they yeah, sorry, they're very demanding. So yeah, anyway, so there's still, aside from that, right, many people really like it. I mean, just look at the backing, right? They wanted to have 200,000, or have 284,000, 1,465 backers. So it is popular, and it is a game where apparently you're constantly battling each other. The miniatures, you know, if you're into this style, they look pretty good. It says here, in addition to non-stop combat and mechanics that always keep you in the fight, you will explore map tiles to gain boons, collect resources like sword-like crystals, and complete secondary objectives to propel you to victory. So there's stuff to do in the game, right? And they also talk about what they did to make the game more appealing. All right. And you can see there's a ton of stuff in there. You know, I'm sure when you get this game on your doorstep and you open it, you're like, wow, you know, it'll look very, very nice. So I'm gonna go through here. There's so many different things, and all the factions look different, you know, which is also very good. They have different abilities and so on. Yeah, so like I said, constant battle. So basically, you're always engaged to see what's going on. And you can see it's a very, very fleshed out Kickstarter page. These crystals here look pretty cool as well. Yeah, so what else is there? Shipping, I guess. And they also show you how they made it. Okay. So, boom, 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 boom. Where's the shipping? Wow, $425. Anyway, shipping here. And we have it, Brazil. Sorry for you guys. So yeah, quite expensive as well. But the game is already much cheaper than when they originally launched it. All right, this one I'm interested in for my kids. This is the Quest Kids Big Bads of Tolk's Cave reprint plus expansion. So the acclaimed dungeon crawler for young heroes 5 years old and up returns with the base game plus a new expansion. So this is the expansion, and I talk about the base game as well. So you can see it's basically a dungeon crawler, but it's very, very much simplified, and they make it look as nice as possible. And I'll go over what exactly happens. So, boom, 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 boom. So, for example, you have these nice big miniatures. Well, nice, you know, for the kids. You also have the standees though. But then they have the game boards and their own player boards. They have nice little gems and everything, and the cards. But I wanted to talk about, well, how it works. So, blah, 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 blah. Where did they explain it? Somewhere lower. Okay. The kids love it because of heroic heroes and fun bad guys, quick adventurous turns, toys, treasure and triumph. So there's very little negative stuff because you create the dungeon, right? You have a hero, you explore a tile, you get abilities, and then you're trying to defeat these monsters. You can see there's like items they want, which are on these cards. And in the event that you can't defeat the monsters, other people can help you, and then they get special cards for it as well. So there's not much of about, oh, I can't do it, and you help each other, you get something in return as well. And at the end of the game, you just count the stars that you've collected. So it's like you go around with the kids and defeat monsters and explore and get items and so on. And then the big bads add a dragon. Cannot go wrong with a dragon, but also these really cute dice that will also be used by all the characters, which is also very nice. Alright, so the only thing actually left to see is checking the, and look at this dice tower as well, play mats if you want to, and even coloring sheets that's already in the base game, but you can add more of them if you want to. So let's take a look at the shipping, and then that's enough about this. So let's take a look at the shipping. One way of shipping, it says here. Okay, so here we go. Also, if you want to have just the expansion and the other versions. All right, and then we can go over this limited two-way shipping as well. The changes slightly. Okay, next up we have Silicon Valley, which is a game about Silicon Valley. You launch products, you hire staff, and become the most successful startup in Silicon Valley in this new game by Scott Alms. Now, Scott Alms is pretty popular designer. It's also Grail Games, so they have created a lot of games in itself. So, see Fjords, The Gardens. I remember Whale Riders as well, Medici. Yeah, so you can trust their Kickstarter for sure. So yeah, Silicon Valley, basically it's a polyomino game. So Scott Alms, you know him of Tiny Epic series, Almanac and Boomerang. So what is in there? Metal coins, of course, is nice, but you're gonna hire staff and manage your headquarters, so you can see you're hiring them, and then these are the different things that you're going for, goals and everything. And then you can use the polyominoes you later to complete all these products that you can then increase your valuation and go for 1 billion basically. So you see everything that's in the box here. This is all code, the polyomino product cards, the launch tiles, and it's also a little bit more complicated than it looks like, because sometimes the not decision cards, not these, but the launch tiles can become not as interesting as they initially were. So you have to get rid of them and get a new one. For example, well, how does the game play? You have 3 actions, and you have, well, you can do 3 actions out of the 7 available. Hire or poach an employee, so you can take an employee away from other players. Expand your headquarters. And then acquire some funding, but it says here, where's it later? But the product outsources the polyomino stuff. And then here, sunset a product. Sometimes the competition has made a product more expensive to keep than anything else, and you have to cycle them and create new ones to keep your startup attractive. So yeah, and also layoffs that you do. So if you think that sounds interesting to you, me personally, I'm not interested because of the look and the theme, and it just doesn't apply to me. But what is the shipping about? There we go. So yeah, here we have the shipping. It seems to be okay in general. I'm sorry, I'm yawning a bit because it's late at night and I had to have a break because my kids were awake. So yeah, anyway, so that's it. You even have group pledges to make it even easier. Alright, so that is Silicon Valley. Then we have Maul Peak, an asymmetric 2-player game with epic meeples. Return to Bure with all new Guardians and the Grizzar in the standalone cross-compatible sequel to Skulk Hollow. Now, I had heard of Skulk Hollow before, but I never played it, or I didn't really know what it was about. I just recognized the name. Turns out I should have heard about it earlier, because this seems pretty cool. One person is this gigantic monster here in the middle, and the other people are the bears. Well, other people, it's only 2 players, 40 minutes, each 12. So one person will play as a Grizzar, and their goal will be to attack the Saboso, which is a big creature. So there's the map here. We're going to be going over there as the Grizzar, trying to do certain actions and climbing on top of him. So we'll see that later. So when we scroll down, you see here the different monsters: Saboso, Feblin, Quagra, Trovak, and Gnarl. But you can see on their boards they have different locations where you'll send your bears to try and knock them out. Okay, so there's a bunch of them unlocked. You can see it here, the different bears, different locations, and then also getting on top of the Saboso in this case. But then here there's a cell, so they can also get captured and so on. So how to look, you choose a side, either the Grizzar or the monster, right? Saboso, for example. Then you have the battle on the world map, but then also the Guardian body where you can get on top. But then there's also power cards that both sides can use. Of course, these are the Saboso ones. And then we'll see in the end who wins, right? So I think it looks really interesting. Definitely on my radar now. And let's take a look at the shipments. The stretch goals, you can see a bunch of stuff that's also been unlocked. But let's take a look at the shipping. So Zone 1, China, Hong Kong, yay. But also, and I think if I back it, it'll definitely be Maul Peak and Skulk Hollow together. Because apparently you can mix and match both of them. And play with 4 players, for example. Yeah, okay. So that's Maul Peak. Then we have Keep 'em Rolling to the Rhine. Now, if you see this, honestly, the only way that I would think that this is technically a game that's about the war World War II is because of the 1944. All right, because you see 1944 here, and you do see an airplane, but aside from that, but basically it was the alliance, the West, right? The Allies, they were winning the war. It was to see who would reach Germany the first. So you have different sets of commanders trying to get there, right? It's kind of became like a race. So it says here, rolling through the plains, villages, and cities of France and the Benelux in an exciting race to be the first Allied commander to cross the German border on the Rhine. So you'll do a lot of stuff. You'll move in turns. You'll have your army consisting of 3 or 4 corps and take 2 actions per turn. You can move a corps, fight a land battle if you encounter Axis troops, draw supplies, draw trucks, transport supplies, or make use of Allied air supremacy, and so on, so on, so on, just to try to get there as fast as possible. All right, they have some new stuff here in the new version because it's they redid it, but yeah, it seems pretty popular. There's a bunch of videos if you're interested. The shipping is here, which for me personally is not interesting, but then the game itself doesn't really speak to me because it's not my kind of game that I enjoy. But you can see it's already funded from £10,000. They already have 18,000. Then we have 2 left. We have an Empty Throne, which is another small box game, literally this time from Small Box Games, a 2-player card game. Once again, 54 cards is it that you can just take along with you wherever you go. So yeah, 54 cards. Yeah, so in this case it's just 2 players battling it out with Kith and Refuge cards, trying to I checked the rules a little bit. It didn't really come easy to me, to be honest, how it exactly plays. There is dominance again in the middle, like you have the tombs and the fields, and you're either playing it for the value or you're playing it for the action. But if the card at the bottom has a higher value than that one, you can do double of it. I don't know, I checked it a little bit. It didn't really seem very simple to me, but you know, maybe it's just because it's too late, whatever. But the art looks very nice, and it is something you can carry everywhere. It is short. When the game ends, players score points for everything they have here. 2 points for their flipped fields. So the fields are these in the middle, which apparently you're trying to flip, and then 1 point for each field where they have at least 12 value. That's the points here, and 2 points if they have at least 12 value at the tombs, and then 1 point for each reveal the refuge bonus kit card in their hand. So yeah, but it shouldn't be too difficult, but I didn't see any videos, so I don't think they have a playthrough video, do they? No, and the video here is kind of stupid. Okay, anyway, an Empty Throne. Shipping anything? No. Is it limited to certain countries? Oh no, $17 for Hong Kong, for example. But then the game itself will be 15, so that's a bit silly. And then the last one that we have is Master Dater by Cyanide and Happiness. I have their 2 previous games, but this one I will not be backing because it's 3 to 6 players, right? You draw 3 head cards and 3 body cards, and then one person is a single, sexy single, and they'll flip 3 cards describing facts about themselves. So, will eat me, only date rich people, finding a lifelong mortal enemy, and then the other people will have to create a person that is best suited for that single, sexy single, and then of course create a story around it. So as a leprechaun snake, I know a thing or 2 about eating people, and I've got loads of gold. So ... So the whole dating thing and talking about that doesn't speak to me at all. So for this, I'm really not interested. But it might be different for you. So if you do go over to Gamefound, check it out. Here's another example. I only date rich people, outdoorsy stuff, plays hard to get. And then you have frat bro with a sports player, banana head with kids in a trench coat, whatever. Yeah, no, not really my thing. They have some other stuff here as well. Yeah, so check that out if you want to. Shipping is here. Yeah, that's kind of it. I don't know if you can order the other stuff as well. They don't seem to say, or I missed it. But this is actually it. This is the end of the Kickstarter Gamefound crowdsourcing overview. Hopefully you found some interesting stuff here, and if you're thinking of backing anything or you disagree with me about anything, please do share. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It always helps. My name is Joachim, and always will be, and this was So Many Games all the time. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.